Watch this video of DDG on a live stream where I think it's an AI bot that he programmed to sound like Hallie, or I don't know if it's the AI reading her text messages to him. But anyway, he's talking shit about her on live. Let's listen.
Where's Halo at?
What do you mean? He's sleeping, he's in bed RN?
Give me my son back.
What? Why are you acting like this? What have I ever done for you to act like I'm some sort of monster that would keep your son from you?
Because you don't know how to respect me and you disrespect me in public.
He's the only one being disrespectful. But anyway, let's talk about it. We often hear about men talk about bitter baby mamas. Their bitter ex who can't seem to let go. The bitter ex who is withholding visitation from him so he can't see his kids. The bitter ex who keeps popping up. The bitter ex who keeps busting the windows out of his car. But one thing we don't talk about is bitter baby daddies. And I just so happen to have one. So let's talk about it. Now, I talk about my abusive ex-husband when I'm using something that happened in that relationship as a teaching moment. Other than that, I'm not hanging out with my friends and just randomly talking about it. I don't talk about them. No. However, I left him in 2008. My name remains in his mouth along with the plaque and cavities that are also there. And I have a point. This is okay. This all ties into the DDGs of the world. If you don't know the case, Halle Bailey filed and was granted a restraining order against DDG. Okay. Every single time I'm in a relationship, his eyes, one of his flying monkeys, one of his spies that works for him for free, which is absolutely fucking insane, everything always gets back to him. And I'll never forget, years ago, I was dating this guy, and me and this guy broke up, and he was picking up the kids, and he was like, yeah, you and that guy broke up. No man wants you. And I remember being shocked, like, dude, what? Okay, I'm going to go inside because it's starting to rain out here. Hold on. And even with my current relationship, his little friends would pop up in my comment section and be like, it's giving, you're just trying to make him jealous and you're making him up. Bitch, I don't give a fuck about that man. I'm not even thinking about him. Oh my God, move on! We could totally have a discussion about how I would never in my life do free spy work for somebody. Like, people get paid thousands of dollars for that shit. So you're already an idiot for, doing this shit for free. Don't you have anything to do in your spare time? Anyway, so when I do share certain information about my relationships and then his little idiots come to him and to verify, this man who knows absolutely nothing about me, of course he's going to say, well, that's not true. Nobody wants that. And then those same idiots come online and bully and harass me, which, again, whole nother video that I can make. And me, I don't care who he's with. As long as they're not a jerk to my children, I don't care. I want him to move on and be happy and leave me the fuck alone. When my kids were little, he would schedule things to happen during when they were supposed to be with me. He would sign them up for little classes and shit, and then I wouldn't be able to take them because I would have to work. And then he would paint this picture of, I just don't care. I never want to go to their events. He would do things that are considered normal from the outside looking in. For example, he would pop up and have go eat lunch with them at their school when the kids were with me, but wouldn't do any of that shit when the kids were with him. And of course, a lot of you idiots are going to be like, well, what's wrong with that? You're not going to see what I'm talking about. Anyway, he would never pay for things that my kids needed. However, when it was time for him to take the kids to his hometown, he made sure, they had all the new shit from head to toe. I mean, because of course you got to act like you're rich when you're actually broke, right? And one of the worst things that he would do is he would refuse to return the kids to me when it was my time to pick them up. And everybody was like, just go to court, just go to court, just go to... Do you know how much money that takes? Do you know how much time that takes to do is fucking exhausting. So because at the time that all that was happening, I didn't really have any money or the time to take off work because I had to work so hard because he wasn't helping with shit. I had to ride out a lot of his little temper tantrums when he would not return the kids to me. And before you say, well, I woulda, shut the fuck up. I don't care what you would have done, okay? Everybody's an expert in shit they know nothing about. He also owns a pew-pew, so if I go onto his property, especially when I'm not supposed to be there, and then I get killed, I can't do anything for my children anyway, can I? Or if I get locked up for trespassing. But anyway, I need a lot of y'all to get common sense and stop telling people what they woulda, shoulda, coulda, because you don't fucking know. Anyway, back to the story. When I left my abusive ex-husband, as far as people saying, claiming that Halle Bailey just easily and haphazardly got this restraining order, it's fucking hard to get that shit. When me and my abusive ex-husband, he kept dragging me through the legal system. Legal abuse is a thing. Google it. But he would drag me back and forth to court trying to get custody of the kids, claiming that I was this unstable, crazy mother. But anyway, it wound up backfiring because at the time I had gotten a free lawyer and he took me back and forth to court so much that he could no longer afford to pay his lawyer and she wound up dropping him. Anyway, so and we had a horrible judge. That judge was a fucking asshole. So when we were in court and he was trying to take the kids away from me altogether, the judge decided to do 50-50. And I presented the judge with a police report and witness accounts of the bullying and harassment. And it stated in the police report how he abused me and the harassing phone calls and text. And that judge didn't give a damn about any of that. And I was ordered to give him my address so that he could pick up the kids from my home. And before, do not tell me coulda, shoulda, woulda. Please don't. I will block you. I don't want to hear it. And yeah, I'm hard-headed. I don't want to hear what the fuck you have to say. But anyway, the legal system doesn't like women. It especially doesn't like stay-at-home moms. I preach this from the mountaintops, but y'all don't want to hear me. You just want to dance. The legal system doesn't give a fuck that he put his hands on you and you were beaten within an inch of your life. They don't give a damn that you gave up your career to help him build his. They don't fucking care about any of that. And a lot of judges, if you're lucky to get a good one, but a lot of judges have a stick up their ass and they don't give a shit about anything. So if Halle Bailey was able to get a restraining order, he did some fucked up shit to her. He really did some fucked up shit to her. Because I wasn't given that much grace by judges, by police, and I was choked and could have, I'm surprised I didn't, but could have died from the severity of how he choked me. And the judge was like, anyway, I'm going to have chicken salad for lunch. So we really need to start talking more about bitter baby daddies. And even with that, yes, there are some women who display the same behavior, okay? I'm not gonna lie. However, 9 times out of 10, if a baby mama is bitter, it's because the same reason DDG is saying all this shit about Halle Bailey, it's because she has set boundaries and she is trying to protect herself. She no longer wants to fool with him. She doesn't want to be seen with him. She doesn't want him touching her body. She doesn't want him in her home. She is fucking done with him outside of him being able to have visitation with his children. And these men lose their fucking minds when they lose control over you. My ex-husband will tell you that he's happy all day, every day, but I've never known of someone to be happy and still holding on to trying to find out information about what their ex is doing. I don't know what the fuck is going on in his house. I don't fucking care. That's how much I moved on. There have been times when I have prayed to God that he get therapy, that he heal, that he be happy, because I want him to move on. I want him to leave me alone. And I say all that to say this. Please take your time when having children with these men. Please. The best thing for you is to take your time and to set boundaries and to say no, and then to step back and see how they react to you setting boundaries and saying no. What is his family saying about him? His family and friends used to tell me he had a daughter when we met. He just drops her off over here and goes out. And I was like, oh, thinking I was going to be different. You're not going to be different. If the world gives you clues, take them and run.